Welcome to our flow and restore yoga practice, where we're going to physically focus quite a bit on the lower body. Let's begin in any comfortable way for you to sit. You might even sit up on any of your props. And for especially the second half of our practice, you'll want to have quite a few props, whatever you have: bolster, blanket, two blocks, a strap. So a few weeks ago, I was reiterating the mindfulness and yoga philosophy practice called equanimity. And one very simplified definition of equanimity might be cultivating sort of a neutral state of mind. And I came across this article in Lion's Roar, a Buddhist magazine online, written by Kyra Jualingo, and she expounds upon other ways to look at equanimity that are really resonated with me. She said that true equanimity is not in any way detached or uncaring. It's inclusive and loving, and the foundation for spiritual courage. Without equanimity, our compassion can become compassion fatigue. We can outpour to an extent that we become exhausted or overly identified with a situation. Equanimity can help keep us resourced and in our center. In Buddhism, there's a word for equanimity. I think it's pronounced upesha, something like that. And it's defined as the ability to see without being caught by what we see. You might remember one of my favorite mindfulness teachers, Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed away a few years ago. He explained equanimity as a practice of inclusiveness. He wrote that being inclusive means we give and have spaciousness, but how do we face the world as it is and not be flattened by it, not be completely overwhelmed with all that's going on? When I was a novice, he wrote, I could not understand why, if the world is filled with suffering. The Buddha has such a beautiful smile. You might see these different statues of the Buddha meditating. There's a little bit of a smile on his face. Why isn't he disturbed by all the suffering? Later, I discovered that the Buddha has enough understanding, calm, and strength. That is why the suffering does not overwhelm him. He is able to smile to suffering because he knows how to take care of it and how to help transform it. We need to be aware of the suffering and retain our clarity, calmness, and strength so we can help transform the situation. The ocean of tears cannot drown us if karuna or compassion is there. That is why the Buddha's smile is possible. So we're going to integrate that inner smile when we sit in our 10 minutes of guided meditation at the end of our physical yoga today. Let's take a moment first to check in with what's going on in each of us personally. So I invite you to find a comfortable stillness and maybe close the eyes, directing your attention to your physical body. Observing all the different kinds of sensations through which your body is communicating to you, where you might feel tense, where you might feel very open. Notice the way breath is flowing without controlling or changing your breathing. Letting the qualities of your breath right now inform you of your energetic state. And bring awareness to the state of your mind and heart. And observing what you have been feeding your attention lately. And noticing if your heart is asking you to hold space for any emotions that you're processing. Then allow a deeper breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Even deeper breath in through the nose. And even slower, exhale through the mouth. Invite you to continue to deepen your breath, taking your time to feel the contrast of reaching the fullness and the emptiness of each. And as you continue to do that, I invite you to think of 3 things from today that you feel gratitude for. And from that space in your heart, clarify what you're choosing to give your attention and focus your energy on cultivating through this practice and afterwards setting your intention or sankalpa. And as you think of those around you that you affect inherently in our interconnectedness, I invite you to choose someone or a group of beings that you might dedicate your practice to today, extending loving kindness for the well-being of another person. And with that, let's join our voices, connecting with the sound of our Mother Earth, chanting Om 3 times. Let in a deep breath. As you continue to breathe deeply, let's practice a breathing technique called Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breath, that helps to balance our energy, especially as we start to move our bodies and to cultivate calm and focus. So it's done by closing your lips, gently narrowing the back of your throat, and creating a very soft whispering sound to your breath that helps you to regulate how you're breathing and exerting your energy. So taking your time to inhale very slowly and to exhale just as slowly while smoothly transitioning between the breaths. And as you listen to your breathings, establish a slow and steady rhythm that we're going to move our bodies to very soon. And keep listening to your breathing. And let's start to gently rise up to stand at the front of your mat, entering a standing forward fold, setting your feet apart a little wider than hips distance. Parallel your feet, bend your knees generously, and shift your weight as far forward as you can balance, lengthening your spine like a flat back. And take any variation of a forward fold that is speaking to you right now. You might hold opposite elbows and sway the spine. Maybe nod and shake the head to loosen your neck. You might open up the fronts of the shoulders by clasping the hands behind your lower back and stretching the arms forward while lifting the shoulders and dropping the head. Feel into the muscles in your face. You could relax your jaw by just stretching the mouth different ways or fluttering your lips. Just a couple more breaths in your version of Uttanasana. Lower your fingertips outside of your feet. You can place your hands on blocks if that's easier. Step the ball of your left foot way behind you into a high lunge with your feet hips width apart, parallel. Bend the front knee directly above the heel. And as you breathe in, let your pelvis sink a little lower. As you breathe out, keep your feet where they are. Begin to straighten the legs to what degree is comfortable by scissoring the right hip back while you extend your chest forward to bow, pyramid pose. Again, inhale to your lunge. Exhale to pyramid pose. 3 more cycles of breath. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, pyramid. Let's step back into plank pose, top of a push-up. Just pausing there for 3 breaths. Stack the shoulders over the wrists. Rotate your triceps towards your back wall. Lift the sides of the belly. You could always place the knees down if you need more support. Now with an exhale, lower the knees, then chest, then chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither forward, entering a gentle cobra pose. Let the shoulders soften back. Exhale, lifting your hips high, draw them back, downward facing dog. For this first downward dog, feel free to take a moment to move your body any way it needs to loosen up. You could warm up the backs of your legs by pedaling your feet in place. Stretch the outer hips, sides of the torso by swiveling the hips side to side. And connect to the sound rhythm of your breath. Now find some stillness in downward dog, studying your gaze as well. Listen to a full cycle of breath. And then walk to the front of your mat, standing forward fold. Plant the fingertips down and step the ball of the right foot way back to a high lunge, bending the front knee just over the heel. Parallel your feet, hips distance apart. And as you breathe in, let your pelvis sink just a little bit more. Keep your feet where they are and exhale. Draw the left hip back, straightening the legs to your degree. Bow as if you have a flat back, pyramid pose. Again, inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, pyramid. This time, inhale, step into plank pose. And as you exhale again, lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, slide through to cobra, ground through the tops of your feet. Exhale, lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Let your body be still for 2 cycles of breath. When you've emptied the second breath, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, forward fold. Press the ground, your blocks, or your shins, and inhale, stretch your spine forward into a half forward fold. Exhale, fold again. Press down through your feet, inhale, sweep the arms overhead, rising to stand in a gentle back bend. Exhale, gather your palms down to your heart center. Take a moment here to connect to the energy of your intention, practicing embodying that energy as we offer gratitude to the sun, the setting sun, Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. Let's go into sun salutation B, connecting movement to breath. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, bend your knees, feet together, knees together, chair pose. As you exhale, shift your weight forward and bow in. Press your hands and inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Step back to plank pose, and you could lower knees, chest, chin, or this time exhale, glide forward. Graze your elbows by your ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now from here, inhale, raise your right leg back. Try to keep your hips leveled. Exhale, step the right foot gently beside your right thumb. Spin the back heel down. Inhale, rise up to warrior one. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. From downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Keep the hips leveled. Exhale, step the foot gently beside your left thumb. Drop your back heel. Inhale, rise up to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Back to downward facing dog, or take a moment to rest, as that is always an option as you're listening to your body. Slowing down your breathing, smoothing it out for 3 to 5 cycles. When you can hear your breath sounding smoother and deeper, empty the breath before you walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, forward fold, feet together touching. Then inhale, lengthen to half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees to chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise to mountain pose. Okay, one last time. Want to make sure that we're as warm as we can be. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Take your vinyasa, your version of it here. At your pace of breathing, from downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale the foot forward, drop your back heel. And now rise, warrior one. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. From downward facing dog, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot beside left thumb, drop the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale all the way down, vinyasa. Once again, downward facing dog. Cultivate stillness, steady the gaze, and re-steady your breathing as you check in with your body. When you can hear in your breathing that you're ready to go, empty the breath before you walk or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Feet together, inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees together. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, rise up. All right, from here, let's pivot to face the wide width of your mat and step your feet wide apart, parallel to each other, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Now, if you want to have blocks in front of you to place your hands on, feel free to place them in front. Let's bring the hands to the hips. As you breathe in, roll your shoulders back, lift the chest. And as you breathe out, hinging from your hips, shift your pelvis forward so that it's aligned with your ankles rather than behind your ankles. And remember that you can bend your knees any amount here so that you're lengthening your spine rather than rounding your shoulders or your back. Let the head fall. While you're lifting the shoulders up, create space in the neck. Let's add a spinal twist here. So crawl the fingertips forward, lifting your chest, press it through your upper arms. Place one hand down front and center on a block or the floor. Raise the opposite arm to the sky and begin twisting at your waistline in the direction of your lifted arm. Keep the pelvis still and breathe in. Root down to your feet and stretch your spine further forward. Glide your shoulder blades both down your back ribs. And as you breathe out, continue to rotate your rib cage. 2 more breaths. Exhale, let's switch hands. Oops. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Exhale, continue to twist. Breath by breath. Feel your 2 hips leveled, stabilizing your lower back. Last couple of breaths. And lower both hands. Now from here, I'm going to mirror you. So turning out your legs at the hips, bend your left knee, straighten your right leg, and curl your right toes up. You could have your hands on blocks or on the floor, or you could have your hands in prayer. It's like a sideways type of lunge called Skandasana. It's a hip opener. Pausing here a few breaths. If your hands are free, you could cross the left arm in front of the left thigh and stretch the right arm to the sky for another spinal twist, turning your chest to look up, or wrapping the top arm behind your back, maybe clasping the hands. 2 more deep breaths. Make sure that you're rotating your legs from your hips, not laterally from your knees. That's why I'm flexing my right foot here as the right leg is straight, making sure the right kneecap is pointing up towards the sky in the same direction that the right toes are pointing. So basically, you want to point the center of your knees in the same direction as the center toe of the same leg. So let's start to come back to center in a wide-legged squat. You can have your hands on blocks, the floor, or hands together at the heart. Bend both knees, keep turning out both legs, and shift your weight onto your right leg. Bend the right knee, curl the left toes up, left knee points up. See where your body's asking you to place your hands. If available, you could cross the right arm in front of the right thigh and raise the left arm, turning your chest towards the sky into a spinal twist. Maybe there, adding a wrap, one arm or both arms. And listen to the quality of your breathing here. And start to unravel. Now again, originate the movements at your hips, not at your knees. Be very mindful with your knees. Come back to your center and pivot to face the front of your mat so that your feet are parallel in a lunge. From your lunge, step back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, walk your hands back towards your feet. Now have blocks under your hands if the floor is not comfortable for you to place your hands on. Right? You can make your hands a little higher or a lot higher with blocks. From here, cross your right foot in front of your left foot all the way to the left side. So it's like a crisscross forward fold. With the right leg in front, bend the right knee slightly without locking the left knee. Keep the left leg relatively straight. Bowing in for a few breaths. You could opt to walk your hands over to the left, getting more of a side stretch while you're here. Bring the blocks with you if you're using them. Stretching into the right side of the outer hip, thigh. Might even feel it in the right outer calf. How's your breathing? And then still in the same cross-legged fold, crawl your hands over to the right side and breathe into your left side body. Where you're feeling this the most. As we practice equanimity, it's practicing inclusivity, right? Even when you're physically practicing yoga, maybe practice with a subtle smile on your face. I love how Tara Brach, another mindfulness teacher, explains that smile as a way of practicing friendliness with whatever is arising. You don't have to like what's coming up, but you're holding space for it. Let's come back through center. Switch the cross of your legs. Bend your left knee that's in front and keep the right leg relatively straight without locking the knees. Soften the neck, soften the jaw. Breathe. And then experiment possibly with walking your hands over to the right side, staying there for a few breaths. And as you notice what sensations are arising for you or shifting for you, practice letting go of judging them as good or bad or right or wrong. They just are. Just be a witness to them. And let's walk the hands through center, switching over to your left side. Couple more breaths. Come back to center. Let's uncross the legs, regular forward fold. Bend your knees a lot, drop your head, and slowly roll your spine upright. Take your time here. Breathe. When you get towards lifting the head, circle your shoulders forward and up. And exhale them back and down a few times. Inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Maybe even sigh as you release them down. Couple more. Breathe in. Ah. Deep inhale. And release. Let's come on down to sit. Coming into cow face pose, Gomukhasana. I'm again going to mirror you. So as you're bringing your legs in front of you, if it's challenging to sit up tall, if the spine tends to round, grab your folded blanket and make it as thick or thin as you need to sit on so that you can elevate the pelvis and help to lengthen the spine upright. Now you may want to grab a strap, especially if you've got tightness in the shoulders. So as I mirror you here, turn open your left thigh at the hip, cross your left thigh over the right thigh so your thighs are as close together as possible. Now you could either keep your right leg straight underneath and flex the right foot, if that helps you to balance your two sitting bones more easily, or you could bend the right knee underneath and splay your feet wider apart. And then from here, take the strap in your right hand and dangle it behind your back as you raise the right arm. With the help of your left hand, spin your right tricep forward and bring the elbow behind your skull, pressing your two shoulders down with the chin. Soften the front ribs in. And then reach the left hand behind you underneath to catch the bottom end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. If you can clasp your hands, then you don't need the strap. Press down to your two sitting bones and breathe in as you lift and lengthen your spine. Keep the spine tall and from your hips, not from your neck. Exhale, start to hinge forward. Pause as you breathe in to press the pelvis down some more and stretch the spine a little longer. Exhale If you can fold deeper without rounding the back or closing the throat, continue to fold. Let's continue for another 8 deep breaths in cow face pose. Sink down through your pelvis. Lead with your chest and inhale to slowly rise. Release your arms and cross your legs, sitting tall in stick pose, Dandasana. And just pause here. Feel your body unravel from that pose. Notice what there is to notice. Yin yoga is very much the practice of slowing down, so no rush to get to the second side. When you feel ready, gently turn open your right thigh at the hip, cross the right thigh over the left, as close together as you can cross the thighs. Choose to either keep your left leg straight underneath, flexing the left foot, or if you can still sit tall and ground both sitting bones equally, bend the bottom knee and splay the feet apart. Raising your left hand, you might dangle a strap from it behind you. And with the help of your right hand, rotate your left tricep forward and bring the elbow behind your head, pressing your shoulders down. Lift your chin parallel to the ground and soften in your front ribs. Reach the right hand behind you from underneath, catching the bottom end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. If they can clasp, you don't need a strap. Press downward to your 2 sitting bones and lift upward as you breathe in, lengthening your spine. Exhale just a little bit at a time. Fold from your hips, breath by breath, exploring the range of your forward fold. As you press your pelvis downward, lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise up. Release your arms, straighten the legs forward, sit tall, and just pause for a few breaths. Observe. Let's bring some opening into the fronts of the hips and thighs, the quadriceps, coming into supine hero's pose. Start by sitting on a block or pillow or blanket in between your ankles as you place the knees in front of you, no wider than your hips distance apart. Now, if you're sitting on that and it's very comfortable on your knees, you can sit directly on your calves or very gently move the calves slightly aside and sit on the ground between your ankles. Making sure you're not forcing anything, as this posture can be very uh, demanding on the knees and the ankles. So be gentle and incremental as you explore the depth of this pose. Now you might find plenty happening just sitting upright here, opening up the fronts of your thighs or even getting the knees to relax a little. Otherwise, breath by breath, you could begin to lean back, whether you rest your hands on the floor behind you or your elbows on the floor, or you put some pillows behind you to lean into, or maybe eventually, without forcing it, lying down flat. We're going to be here for 3 minutes, so you've got some time to explore how far you need to go in a way that is listening to your body truthfully, compassionately, and letting the breath support you and relaxing deeper into the pose. If you're lying all the way back and your hands are free, you could opt to cross your arms overhead and hold opposite elbows. And then maybe switch the cross of your elbows if you've been doing that. As you're observing the sensations happening in your body or the thoughts arising in your mind, bring in that practice of equanimity. You might lift the corners of the lips very subtly into a gentle smile. Couple more deep cleansing breaths. Be very gentle as you start to lift your torso upright and stretch the legs in front of you again. Take your time. You might very, very softly rub circles on the knees and rotate your feet at the ankles, point and flex your toes. Please take a strap with you as well as 2 blocks. Just set them aside near the back of your mat and let's come on down onto our backs. As you lie on your back, bend your right knee into your chest. Take hold of your thigh or shin. Stretch the left leg forward on the ground. Relax your shoulders on the earth. Lengthen your neck. And then step the ball of your right foot into the strap. Flex your right foot and kick it into the strap while you straighten the right leg up towards the sky. Hold the strap in your left hand. We're going to come into, so you can unflex the right foot because we're going to come into a spinal twist first. So slide your pelvis towards the right side of your mat, maybe 3 to 5 more inches. And open your right arm wide out to the right side. You could even face your right arm to stretch your neck. Make sure your right shoulder stays on the floor. If you want to stretch into your IT band at your outer right thigh while we twist, you could also sickle your right foot, which means that from the ankle, you turn the sole of your right foot to face the left wall. Breath by breath, begin to cross your right leg over your body into a spinal twist. Only as far as the right shoulder can remain on the ground. And you could even catch the inner side of your right leg with your pillow, blocks, any of your props. Start to roll onto your back, lifting the right leg towards the sky. Now let's hold the strap in the right hand. Press the left hand on the very top of your left thigh. From the right hip socket, externally rotate your right thigh bone so that your right knee and toes begin facing the right wall. You could bend the right knee any degree as you begin to abduct the leg, which means move it away from the midline of your body. Keep relaxing your shoulders and hips on the ground. Now, if you can reach hold of your right big toe with your peace fingers, then you don't need to use a strap. A few more deep breaths. Draw the crease of your right outer hip forward towards your inner left foot so as to lengthen the right side of your torso just as much as the left. This is supine hand to big toe pose, or Supta Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana. Couple last breaths. Bring the right leg up towards the ceiling. This time hold the strap with 2 hands or catch the back of your right leg with 2 hands and keep your hips facing equally up towards the sky. Flex both feet and bend your elbows apart to bring your right leg gently closer to you. Just a few breaths. Slowly release the right leg straight on the floor. Relax your feet and pause. Notice any difference you might feel in the left and right sides of your lower body. Let's bend the left knee and catch hold of your left thigh or shin. Hugging it in, ground your shoulders, lengthen your neck. Place your strap around the ball of your left foot flexed. Actually, don't need to flex because we're going to start with a twist first. Extend your left leg towards the sky. Hold the strap in your right hand. Swing your pelvis to the left, closer to the left side of the mat. Open your left arm wide, ground the shoulder. And if you want to stretch the IT band on your outer left thigh while you're in the twist, sickle your left foot. From the ankle, turn the sole of your foot to face the right wall. You might face the left arm to stretch your neck as you begin crossing the left leg over your body slowly. You could also catch the inner side of your left leg with your props if needed. Gently lift the left leg up again. Now switch hands so the left hand is holding the strap. Press your right hand onto the top of your right thigh. Flex both of your feet. Keep your shoulders grounded. Start by externally rotating your left thigh bone at the hip, pointing the left knee to the left wall. Then begin to abduct or move the leg away from the midline of your body, breath by breath. If you can reach hold of the big toe with your left peace fingers, then you don't need a strap. While here, tack the crease of your left outer hip forward towards your inner right foot to lengthen the left side of your torso just as much as the right. Slowly bring the left leg up towards the sky, holding the strap with both hands or holding the back of your left leg with both hands. Keep your hips equally facing the ceiling. Keep flexing the feet and bending your elbows apart. Slowly and gently bring the left leg towards you. Just a few breaths. Bending both knees into your chest. Take a moment here for any gentle movement you might need. Circling the thighs together and apart, rocking in different directions, or maybe coming into happy baby pose. Now we're about to set up for Shavasana. So you could opt to bring your legs up the wall if you want a restorative inversion in Shavasana. Nice way to relieve your legs and feet a bit more of any tension. Or stretch your limbs on the ground. You could put the weight of a folded blanket over your belly and pelvis for grounding support. Maybe your strap over your closed eyes. So take a moment to set up in corpse pose, and I'm going to invite you into another breathing practice when you arrive there. And with your eyes closed, allow a moment to just check in with your body. Feel the weight of your skull as you relax your neck, softening around your eyes. and in your jaw. Allow your shoulders to drop back and down and feel the weight of your arms as you relax your hands. Allow your belly to soften and relax your pelvic floor. Then feel the weight of your pelvis, your legs, relaxing down to the bottoms of your feet. Now visualize the next inhalation, slowly filling up your entire body with renewed life force energy. When you arrive at the top, hold the breath in as comfortably as you can for a few seconds. And when you're ready to, as softly and slowly as you can through the lips, empty your breath. Linger at empty just a few seconds, holding it out, still relaxing the body. And then try it once more, breathing into your whole body as you visualize. Holding the breath for a few seconds while you relax. And very gently, very slowly emptying the breath through the mouth. And holding the breath out just a few seconds as you relax. Now from here, allow the breath to just naturally flow. Feel the difference of no longer exerting any efforts, letting the body be still. And as you continue to gift yourself loving presence, allow your attention to drop even deeper inward. Shavasana. Notice how your physical body feels now. Be gentle and kind as you begin to move and wake up your body little by little, gradually turning over to your right side. Resting there, notice the breath. Sense the ways you have affected your energy. Taking your time, please lift your body into a comfortable way to sit tall in which you can feel grounded, alert, and relaxed. You might place your hands in the mudra of stacking the right palm face up over the left palm face up on the center of your lap with the thumb tips gently touching. The right palm symbolizing wisdom held by the left palm symbolizing compassion. You might also close the eyes. Otherwise, you could gently steady a soft gaze downcast. I invite you as well in this meditation of equanimity practice, seeing without being caught by what you are seeing, this practice of inclusivity. To cultivate a very subtle, gentle smile on your face, allowing the corners of the lips to very slightly lift upwards, representing an openness, a friendliness to welcome whatever is arising in the present moment and meet it with compassion and grace and wisdom. I invite you to as well find a very gentle energy of a smile in your eyes. Relaxing any tension around the eyes. Continue to bring that energy of a smile, that openness and friendliness down to the rest of your body. Where do you tend to tense up, like when you're concentrating? Can you bring the light-hearted energy of a smile into those areas? The shoulders, the chest, the belly, the hands, the feet. Until you can feel the entire energy of your body emanating that very gentle, subtle, and warm smile. And now, with that energy of a smile, I invite you to encounter the different sounds that you detect near and far. No need to reach to hear a sound better. No need to resist or even judge the sound as good or bad. Let them be as they are, coming and going, lingering, practicing the energy of a smile as you witness the sounds. If you step away from the practice, bring back the energy of a smile, not judging yourself. Come back to witnessing. And this time I invite you to witness something more internal, the sensations happening in your body, as well as any thoughts and emotions, feelings that might arise. Bringing the same attitude of a smile and inclusivity, seeing without being caught by what you're seeing. Notice how your mind and heart feel now. In what ways can you bring the practice of equanimity or cultivating the energy of a very subtle smile, an open-heartedness, an open-mindedness as you move about the rest of your day or weekend? You notice the way it affects how you feel at the end of the day, or notice how it affects your interactions. And as we bring this practice to a close, I invite you to think of something new in this very moment that you feel gratitude for. Remind yourself of your intention and to whom you dedicated this practice. And together, let's join our voices in 3 chants of Om. Let in a deep breath. Ah. 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 bowing in towards your heart to honor the light within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.